Stop. You must hear what is being prepared for you tonight, because the window of transition is closing, and I will not let you miss it. You're wondering how this is so specific. You have been sitting in the dark with a racing heart, watching the blue light of your screen show you a world that seems to be moving 10 times faster than your own life, feeling that familiar tightness in your chest as you wonder if you've simply run out of time. Before we go any further, you must seal this moment of alignment. Comment the word "sealed" right now. Reply to your own comment with the word "received." Then find one other person in the comments and tell them I'm standing with you. Do this now to lock in the frequency of what is coming before the sun rises. You are standing at a threshold that few understand, a place where the air is heavy like charcoal, and the silence of the room feels like a physical weight against your skin. This is the turning point I have orchestrated for you. Hear this: the panic you feel is not a sign of your failure, but a reaction to the divine pressure of a closing door. You have spent your hours scrolling through the highlight reels of strangers and acquaintances, watching them collect the trophies you thought would be yours by now. And the enemy of your soul has used those images to whisper that you have been forgotten. But God says, I do not operate within the limitations of a digital clock or a social calendar. The tightness in your jaw and the way your breath catches in your throat when you think about the months ahead are signals that your spirit is vibrating at a frequency higher than your current surroundings. Tonight is the night we dismantle the lie of the delay. Look around the room you're in right now. Notice how the shadows stretch long and dark, casting a charcoal haze over the familiar objects of your daily struggle. This atmosphere of the long night is not your permanent residence. It is the birth canal of your next season. This is your confirmation that the years you think you lost were actually years I spent seasoning your soul, so you wouldn't shatter under the weight of the blessing that is coming. Do not carry this weight into tomorrow. The urgency of this message is not meant to frighten you, but to wake you from the trance of comparison that has been draining your oil. Hear this: you are a time-delayed vessel, not because you are late, but because you are being launched with more mass and more momentum than those who started before you. You have felt the isolation of being the one who is still waiting while the rest of the world seems to be celebrating. You see the posts, the announcements, the smiles that look so effortless, and you feel a cold, numbing sensation in your hands as you wonder if your name was somehow skipped on the list of the favored. God says your name is not on a list that man can edit. It is engraved upon the palms of my hands. The pressure you feel in this moment before you sleep is the pressure of the deep sea. Only the most valuable treasures are found at depths where the pressure would crush anything common. You are being formed in the charcoal blackness of the hidden place, because the light you are about to carry is too bright for the shallow ground. Before this night concludes, I need you to understand that the ticking of the clock is not your enemy. It is the sound of the countdown to your emergence. You have been mourning over a timeline that I have already rewritten. The red warning light is flashing in your spirit because you have been trying to drag the disappointments of the last 3 years into the sanctuary of your future. Hear this: the door is closing on your season of invisibility. If you do not let go of the what-ifs and the should-haves tonight, you will enter your breakthrough with your hands too full of trash to grasp the new mantle. This is the moment where the air turns cold and the choices become clear. You are at the fork in the road where one path leads back to the safety of your familiar misery, and the other leads into the charcoal mist of the unknown where I am waiting. You're wondering how this is so specific because I have heard the silent screams you let out in the shower when the water was loud enough to drown out your grief. I have seen you staring at the ceiling at 3:00 a.m. calculating your age and your bank account and your failures until the numbers became a cage. God says, I am the master mathematician, and I am about to multiply your impact in a way that renders your previous subtractions irrelevant. The urgency of this window, specifically before you sleep, is tied to the way your subconscious processes the identity of a victim. If you go to sleep tonight believing you are behind, you will wake up tomorrow with the spirit of a laggard. But if you accept the seal of this timing, you will wake up with the stride of a conqueror. There is a specific reason you are hearing this before the world wakes up tomorrow. There is a realignment happening in the celestial places that requires your conscious yes. You have been a vessel under construction in a closed warehouse, while others were shiny models on a showroom floor. They were seen early because they were built for the surface. You were hidden because you were built for the storm. Hear this, the storm is coming, and those who were celebrated for their speed will be scattered by the wind. But you, the one who was tempered in the charcoal fire of delay, will be the only one left standing. The racing thoughts that plague you as you try to rest are the result of your soul trying to solve problems that I have already deleted from your transcript. This is your confirmation that the heavy stomach and the sudden tears that come from nowhere are the final purges of a version of you that is no longer allowed to exist. The charcoal black of your current transition is the ink I am using to write a story that will make the scoffers hold their breath. God says, do not look to the left or the right. Do not look at the progress of those who do not carry your burden. Their path is easy because their destination is small. Your path is steep because your destination is a throne. Within the borders of this night, I am shifting the way you perceive the passing of time. You are not losing time. You are being compressed into a diamond. The red threshold you are crossing is marked by the blood of the covenant. It is a warning to the spirits of lack and stagnation that they can follow you no further. Do not delay your surrender. The window of this specific message is a lifeline thrown into the turbulent sea of your anxiety. You have felt the numb hands and the tight jaw of a person who is trying to hold their world together by sheer will. But tonight, I am asking you to let the world fall apart so that I can build a kingdom in its place. Hear this, the quiet panic is the sound of your old life cracking. It is the sound of the eggshell breaking so the eagle can breathe. You have been comfortable in the shell of your delay in your lateness as an excuse to never fly. But the charcoal blackness of the night is now being pierced by the signal yellow of my direction. You have spent too much time analyzing why others are ahead of you, but you have not analyzed the quality of their foundation. God says, I have seen the rot in the houses built in haste, and I have seen the solid rock in the foundation you have laid in tears. Before the morning light breaks the horizon, a decision must be made in the quiet of your heart. Will you continue to measure your worth by the speed of the world, or will you measure your worth by the depth of my call? The urgency you feel is the heartbeat of the Father seeking his child in the dark. I am not looking for your achievements. I am looking for your availability. You have been so busy being late that you have forgotten how to be present. This is your confirmation that the time-delayed vessel is the most dangerous weapon in my arsenal, because you have learned how to survive in the dark. The visual of your life right now might look like charcoal burnt black and useless. But charcoal is what happens when wood is subjected to intense heat in the absence of oxygen. You have felt like you couldn't breathe, like the fire was consuming everything you worked for, but you are not being destroyed. You are being carbonized. You are being turned into something that can burn longer and hotter than the ones who were just flashes in the pan. God says the heat you have endured has prepared you to carry a fire that would consume anyone else. Before the clock strikes 12, you must release the resentment you feel toward those who arrived early. Their arrival was a snack. Your arrival will be a feast. The red threshold is a boundary line. Once you cross it tonight, you cannot go back to the version of you that apologizes for existing. The recognition line I gave you. You're wondering how this is so specific, is your proof that I am in the room with you. I am not a distant deity watching you struggle from a balcony. I am the scribe writing the script of your life in real time. The heavy air you feel is the thickness of my presence, not the weight of your problems. You have mistaken my proximity for pressure. Hear this: when I am close, the atmosphere changes. The quiet panic is your flesh reacting to the holiness of the transition. Tonight, as you sit in the charcoal silence, I want you to visualize the people you have been envying. See them not as your competition, but as your indicators. If they are succeeding, it means the harvest is ready. If the harvest is ready, it means the harvester is in the field. And if the harvester is in the field, he has not forgotten the one who was tasked with the most difficult part of the acreage. You are not late. You are the closing act. The best is always saved for the end. God says, I am about to make the world wait for you. I am about to pause the gears of the marketplace and the circles of influence until you step into the room. This is the authority of the divine sovereign. I don't need you to catch up. I am going to make the timeline catch up to you. The warning red of this hour is a call to sobriety. Stop intoxication yourself with the wine of other people's success. It is a bitter drink that leaves you thirsty. Instead, drink from the well of this confirmation. You have been chosen for a specific mission that required a specific delay. If you had succeeded 3 years ago, you would have attributed it to your own strength. If you had succeeded last year, you would have lost it to your own pride. But when you succeed now, in the charcoal blackness of this unexpected hour, the world will know that it was the hand of the Almighty. Hear this: your delay was my protection. In these final hours of the day, pay attention to the somatic signals in your body. If your chest begins to loosen, it is because I am removing the iron band of comparison. If your racing thoughts begin to slow, it is because I am replacing your frantic calculations with my divine peace. God says the chosen one is not the one who finishes first, but the one who finishes according to the pattern. You have been trying to follow the pattern of a world that is passing away, but I am aligning you with the pattern of eternity. Before you close your eyes, I want you to breathe in the charcoal air and realize it is the smell of a new beginning. The charcoal black turning point is where the old you dies and the true you is revealed. You have been wearing a mask of falling behind because it was easier than wearing the mantle of leading the way. It is a heavy thing to be the first in your family to break the cycle. It is a heavy thing to be the one who carries the weight of a generational promise. The pressure you feel is the weight of the gold I am pouring into your character. Hear this: God says, the gold is ready. The dross has been burned away in the fire of your isolation. The loneliness you have felt was not a punishment. It was a sanctification. I had to get you alone so I could speak to you without the interference of the world's noise. Tonight, the silence is your sanctuary. Do not fill it with the voices of people who do not know where you are going. Do not seek advice from those who have never walked through the charcoal mist. This is the divine lag, the moment between the strike of the match and the burst of the flame. You are in that split second where everything is still. The signal yellow of my confirmation is about to flash. Can you feel the shift? Can you feel the way the air in your room has changed since we began this conversation? You're wondering how this is so specific because I am counting your tears as they fall. Not one is wasted. Each tear is a seed in the ground of your future. Before the sun rises, the script of your life is being edited by the sovereign hand. I am crossing out the delays that were caused by your own fear, and I am highlighting the delays that were caused by my own hand. The ones I caused, I will compensate for with double portion. The ones you caused, I have already forgiven. There is no more late in my kingdom. There is only now. Hear this, God says your now has arrived. The charcoal black night is reaching its zenith, and the red threshold is beneath your feet. Do not hesitate. Do not look back at the screen to see what the world is doing. The world is a shadow. I am the substance. You have felt the isolation like a heavy cloak, pulling at your shoulders, making you want to disappear. You have felt the sudden tears in the middle of a grocery store, or while driving, triggered by a song or a thought of what could have been. These are not signs of weakness. They are the pressure valves of a soul that is being expanded. You are being made larger on the inside so you can hold the weight of the glory on the outside. God says the time-delayed vessel is a vessel of honor. You have been kept in the dark room so the image of my face could be developed on the film of your heart. If you had stepped into the light too soon, the image would have been washed out. Tonight, the development process is complete. The charcoal bath has done its work. The red light of the dark room is about to be turned off. This is the urgent call of the Creator to His chosen one. Prepare for the light. It will be bright, it will be sudden, and it will be absolute. You will not have to explain your success. Your success will be the explanation for your disappearance. People will ask where you have been, and you will simply point to the charcoal scars on your hands and say, I was being formed. Hear this. The recognition of your value is not dependent on the world's approval. I have already approved you in the secret place. The tightness in your chest is beginning to dissolve as you realize that I am the Lord of time. I can make a day feel like 1,000 years, and I can compress 1,000 years of progress into a single day. You are entering a single-day season. The progress you have watched others make over a decade, I am going to manifest for you in the next 12 months. But it requires the surrender of this night. It requires you to stop being a spectator of other people's lives and start being the protagonist of the one I gave you. The charcoal turning point is here. The fork in the road is beneath your feet. Before the week starts, you will see the first signs of the signal yellow. It might be a phone call, an email, or a sudden moment of clarity that solves a problem you've had for years. These are not coincidences. They are the safe urgency of my direction. I am giving you a clean next step. But first, you must finish this night in peace. You must lay down the racing thoughts and the tight jaw. You must trust that the sovereign scribe does not make mistakes in the timing of the plot. God says the story is just getting good. The part where the hero looks like he's lost is the part right before the miraculous intervention. You are in the right before moment. The air is thickest right before the storm breaks. The night is darkest right before the dawn. The charcoal is hottest right before it becomes a diamond. Hear this, this is your confirmation. You are not behind. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being hidden for a purpose. You are not failing. You are being refined. Before the world wakes up tomorrow, the angels of transition are moving the obstacles out of your path. They are clearing the road you thought was blocked. They are opening the doors you thought were locked. The red threshold is glowing with the heat of my presence. Cross it now. Cross it in your mind. Cross it in your spirit. Leave the time-delayed label at the door. From this moment on, you are the divinely timed. You are the sovereignly positioned. You are the chosen one, whose arrival changes the atmosphere of the room. You're wondering how this is so specific because I am the one who designed the intricacies of your soul. I know the exact frequency that wakes you up. I know the exact words that heal your heart. God says I am speaking directly to you, and I am telling you to rest. The charcoal black of the night is not a shroud. It is a blanket. I am covering you while you undergo the final transformation. The red warning is not a threat. It is a boundary. I am protecting you from the distractions of a dying world. The signal yellow is not a dream. It is a map. I am showing you the way out of the maze of comparison. Tonight is the end of your wandering. Tonight is the beginning of your occupation. You have been a nomad in the land of not yet, but tomorrow you start the journey to the land of it is finished. Hear this, the mouth of the Lord has spoken it, and the hand of the Lord will perform it. You are the evidence of my faithfulness. You are the trophy of my grace. You are the time-delayed vessel that is about to overflow with the wine of the new season. Do not let the heavy air of the charcoal night deceive you into thinking the fire has gone out. The fire is inside you. The fire is what I am using to forge the keys to your future. Before the first bird sings tomorrow morning, know that you have been recalibrated. You have been set to the timing of the kingdom. The racing thoughts are fading now. The tightness in your chest is a memory. The charcoal is cooling into a solid foundation. You are standing on the threshold of the miraculous. God says, watch what I do with the time you thought you lost. I am the God of the recovery. I am the God of the restoration. I am the God of the chosen one. The window is closing, but you are already inside. The door is shutting, but you are on the right side of it. The night is passing, and the new day is pregnant with the promises you thought had died. Stay in this posture of reception. Do not move from this place of peace. The charcoal blackness is your friend. It is the velvet of the king's chamber. The red threshold is your honor. It is the carpet of the royal entrance. The signal yellow is your light. It is the glow of the morning star. You are transitioning. You are evolving. You are becoming. Hear this. This is the word of the Lord for you tonight. The delay is over. The wait is finished. The manifestation has begun. The micro scenes of your struggle, the lonely dinners, the silent drives, the tears over the bank, balance the envy of the Instagram feed. These are all being woven into a tapestry of triumph. When you stand in your place of power, you will look back at this charcoal night, and you will thank me for the pressure. You will thank me for the silence. You will thank me for the delay. Because you will realize that if I had given it to you, then it would have been a burden. But because I am giving it to you now, it is a blessing. God says my timing is perfect and you are right on schedule. As the charcoal night deepens, let the weight of my presence press you down into a deep, restorative sleep. You have been fighting for so long that you have forgotten how to rest. But the battle is no longer yours. I have taken the sword from your hand and replaced it with a scepter. You are no longer a soldier in the trenches of comparison. You are a ruler in the palace of my purpose. Before the sun rises, the atmosphere of your home will be cleansed of the spirit of lack. The air will feel lighter. The shadows will feel friendlier. The charcoal will feel like solid ground. Hear this. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I am the Lord of your yesterday, your today, and your forever. Your falling behind was a temporary illusion created by a world that values speed over depth. But I value depth over speed. I have built a deep thing in you, and now I am going to bring it to the surface. The red warning is fading into the signal yellow of a clear path. Follow it. Do not hesitate. The window is open and the invitation is clear. Come up higher. You're wondering how this is so specific. It is because I am the scribe, and I am writing this moment into the archives of your destiny. This is the entry that says, "And on that charcoal night, the chosen one finally understood that time was my servant, not their master." God says you are the master of your moments, because I have given you the keys. The racing heart is still. The tight jaw is relaxed. The heavy stomach is at peace. The charcoal turning point is behind you. You are now in the red threshold, moving toward the yellow signal. Stop and listen to the silence. It is no longer empty. It is full of the resonance of my promise. It is the silence of a seed growing under the earth. It is the silence of a masterpiece being painted in the dark. It is the silence of a God who is well pleased with his child. Before the morning light breaks, the realignment will be complete. You will wake up with a new name. You will wake up with a new song. You will wake up as the one who is no longer late, but the one who has finally arrived. God says, I am making all things new, and that includes your relationship with time. The years the locusts have eaten are being returned to you in a single harvest. The opportunities you missed are being replaced with better ones that you are now mature enough to handle. The charcoal blackness of your past is the fuel for the fire of your future. Do not look back. The red threshold is the point of no return. You are moving forward into a light that never fades. You are moving forward into a glory that never ends. You are moving forward into the center of my will. The urgent timing of this night is the final call for the $144,000 to take their positions. You are among them. You are part of the remnant that was held back for the final hour. The time-delayed vessel is the secret weapon that will turn the tide of the battle. When you emerge from the charcoal night, the world will not see a person who is late. They will see a person who is eternal. They will see the reflection of the Creator in your eyes. They will see the strength of the tempered steel in your bones. They will see the peace of the sovereign in your soul. Hear this. This is your final confirmation for Pass 1. The work is being done in the deep places. The charcoal is being pressed. The red light is shining on the path. The urgency is being converted into peace. God says, stay in the silence. Stay in the charcoal. Stay in the expectation. The arc is not yet finished. The story is not yet complete. And the transition is still in motion. You are mid-arc, suspended in the beauty of the becoming. Do not try to rush to the end. The mid-arc is where the most profound transformation happens. It is where the pressure is greatest and the presence is sweetest. Stay here. Stay with me in the charcoal blackness. The charcoal black of this mid-transition is deepening, and I need you to feel the weight of the atmosphere in this room before you sleep tonight. This is not a heavy air meant to suffocate you, but a dense protective layer of divine preparation. You are standing in the center of a turning point that has been years in the making, even if it feels like a sudden quiet panic in the pit of your stomach. Hear this. God says, the reason you feel so behind is that you have been measuring your progress against a map that I never drew for you. You have been looking at the clocks of men while I have been synchronizing your spirit with the timing of the heavens. Tonight, before you close your eyes, we are tearing up that false map. The red warning light you see at the threshold is a signal that the gate of your old life is locking behind you. Do not try to stick your hand through the bars to reclaim what was lost. The time-delayed vessel is not a vessel that has missed its window. It is a vessel that has been reserved for the high-intensity pressure of the final hour. You're wondering how this is so specific because you spent the afternoon feeling a numb sensation in your hands, a physical manifestation of the spiritual fatigue, one man that comes from trying to hold on to a season that has already turned to charcoal. You've looked at the calendar with a tight jaw, calculating the gaps in your resume, the silence in your relationships, and the emptiness of the promises you thought would be fulfilled by now. But God says, I am the master of the gap. I am the architect of the silence. The space between where you are and where you thought you'd be is not a void. It is the laboratory where your character is being tempered. Think of a high-performance jet being fueled on a dark runway. To the observer in the terminal, it looks like a delay. It looks like a failure to launch. But the pilot knows that the extra time on the ground is the difference between reaching the destination and falling short over the ocean. You are being fueled in the charcoal blackness of the night because the flight you are about to take requires more than the standard supply. In this specific timing window before the morning breaks, I am addressing the racing thoughts that tell you your best years are in the rearview mirror. This is a lie constructed from the charcoal dust of your previous disappointments. Hear this. This is your confirmation that your delay was actually a divine detour to avoid a crash you didn't see coming. If I had given you the platform you craved 3 years ago, the version of you that existed then would have been crushed by the expectations of the crowd. I had to let that version of you burn away until only the charcoal essence remained, the part of you that cannot be shaken, the part of you that no longer seeks the approval of the world. Tonight, you must accept the charcoal as a gift. It is the evidence of your survival. You have walked through the house in the dark, feeling the cold floor beneath your feet, wondering if the light will ever return to your circumstances. You have stood in the kitchen under the hum of the refrigerator, staring into the middle distance, mourning the chosen one you thought you were supposed to be. God says stop mourning the image of the person you were trying to become for the sake of others. That person was a hologram. The person I am forming in the charcoal furnace tonight is the real you. The one who doesn't need a status update to feel significant, the one who doesn't need a viral moment to feel validated. The urgency of this message, specifically before you sleep, is to prevent the spirit of comparison from nesting in your subconscious during the night. If you do not evict that spirit tonight, it will color every decision you make tomorrow. The warning red of the threshold is flashing because there is a temptation to settle for a good opportunity, because you are tired of waiting for the God opportunity. Hear this. Do not settle for the crumbs of a season that is ending just because you are hungry for progress. The hunger you feel is a signal that your capacity is expanding. A small vessel is filled quickly. A massive vessel takes time to saturate. You are a vessel of global proportions, and the delay is the time required to build the infrastructure to support what I am about to pour. You see others building sheds in a weekend, and you wonder why your skyscraper is still just a hole in the ground. It is because I am digging the foundation deep into the bedrock of the charcoal night. A shed can be built on sand, but a skyscraper requires a descent into the dark earth before it can reach for the signal yellow of the sky. Tonight, as the charcoal air settles around you, recognize the mechanism of your elevation. It is the law of displacement. To bring you into the new, I have had to displace the people, the habits, and the timelines that were keeping you small. This is why you feel isolated. This is why the phone has been quiet. This is why the doors you knocked on remain shut. God says I was the one holding the door. I was the one silencing the notifications. I was the one clearing the room so that when the signal yellow appears, there would be no doubt about who gave it to you. The chosen one is often the loneliest one in the middle of the arc, but that loneliness is a sacred hedge. It is the charcoal turning point where you realize that I am enough. You're wondering how this is so specific because you felt the sudden tears today. Tears not of sadness, but of a strange, overwhelming pressure that you couldn't name. That pressure is the red threshold. It is the spiritual equivalent of the atmosphere thinning as you climb a mountain. You are moving into a higher altitude of purpose, and your soul is gasping for the air of the new season. Do not panic. Just breathe. Breathe in the charcoal, breathe out the comparison. Breathe in the urgency, breathe out the anxiety. This is your confirmation that the shift is happening in your very cells. Hear this: you are being rewired for a velocity that would have killed you a month ago. The delay was the training ground for the speed that is coming. Before tomorrow morning, you must make a decree in the atmosphere of your room. You must speak to the charcoal shadows and tell them that you are no longer a victim of time, but a steward of timing. The world says you are late. I say you are arriving exactly when the stage is ready. There is a specific role that only a time-delayed vessel can play. You are the one who enters the room after everyone else has failed. You are the one who brings the solution after the experts have exhausted their options. You are the one who carries the wisdom of the wilderness into the palaces of the city. But you cannot carry that wisdom if you are still bitter about the walk. God says, let the bitterness be consumed in the charcoal fire tonight. The urgency of this window is paramount. There is a deadline in the spirit that occurs before the sun rises. It is the deadline of the identity seal. Tonight, you are deciding if you are the forgotten one or the reserved one. If you go to sleep as the forgotten one, you will wake up to another day of searching for scraps. But if you accept the seal of the reserved one, you will wake up to a day of divine appointments. Hear this: the signal yellow is already beginning to glow on the horizon of your spirit. It is the light of clarity, the light of the next step. But you cannot see the yellow if you are still staring at the charcoal ashes of your 20s or your 30s. Look up. The threshold is right in front of you. You have felt the racing thoughts like a swarm of insects telling you that everyone is talking about your lack of progress. They are telling you that your family is disappointed, that your friends are pitying you, that your enemies are laughing. God says, I have prepared a table for you in the presence of those very thoughts. The table is made of charcoal-tempered wood, and it is covered in the signal yellow of my favor. Let them talk. While they are talking about your delay, I am talking about your destiny. While they are marking you as past your prime, I am marking you as primed for the harvest. The recognition line. You're wondering how this is so specific, is your anchor. It is the proof that I am monitoring the very frequency of your heartbeat. The charcoal black turning point is where the why becomes clear. You've asked why me and why now and why not then for so long that the questions have become a static noise in the background of your life. Tonight, I am turning down the volume of the why and turning up the volume of the who. You are learning who I am in the dark. You are learning that I am the God of the midnight hour. You are learning that I am the God who works while you sleep. The mechanism of your breakthrough is not your effort, but your alignment. This is your confirmation. 1 hour of my favor will do more for your life than 20 years of your striving. You are not falling behind. You are being positioned for a quantum leap. Think of the bow and arrow. To launch the arrow with power, it must first be pulled back away from the target into the charcoal space of tension and resistance. You have been in the pullback for what feels like an eternity. The tension is in your chest, the resistance is in your circumstances. you feel like you are moving backward while the world is moving forward. But God says, the further I pull you back, the further you will fly when I release the string. The delay is the tension required for the distance. If I had released you years ago, you would have landed in the dirt. But tonight, the tension has reached its limit. The red threshold is the moment of release. You're wondering how this is so specific because you were looking at an old photo today, or a memory popped up on your phone, and you felt a sharp pang of grief for the person you were before the charcoal night began. You looked at that younger, more successful version of yourself, and you felt like a failure. Hear this: God says that person was a seed. A seed must fall into the charcoal earth and die, or it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces a harvest. You are not a failure. You are a harvest in the making. The person you were was limited. The person you are becoming is limitless. Do not weep for the seed. Celebrate the tree that is about to burst through the soil. The urgency of this tonight window is tied to the first 3 days of the coming shift. There is a sequence of events that will be triggered by your surrender in this hour. If you hold on to the quiet panic, you will miss the first signal. If you hold on to the tight jaw, you will miss the first word. But if you soften your spirit in the charcoal blackness, you will be sensitive enough to feel the first vibration of the signal yellow. This is your command. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to outrun the clock. The clock is my creation, and I have paused it for your benefit. Hear this: the time you think you lost is being held in a divine escrow account, accruing interest of wisdom and power. The visual palette of your current reality is charcoal black and warning red. It feels like a stop sign. It feels like a dead end. But in the kingdom, every stop is a station for refueling. Every dead end is a doorway to a new dimension. You are not at a dead end. You are at a red threshold. The red is the color of the blood that covers your mistakes. The red is the color of the fire that purifies your intent. The red is the color of the urgency of the king's business. Before you sleep tonight, walk through the red. Don't run, don't crawl, walk with the dignity of a chosen one who knows the end of the story. You have felt the sudden tears again, haven't you? They come when you see a child playing, or when you see an old couple holding hands, or when you see someone younger than you buying a house. It's the grief of the time delayed. It's the feeling that life is a party you were invited to, but couldn't find the address for. God says, I didn't give you the address because I am building the house where the party will eventually be held. You are not a guest in someone else's success. You are the host of the new thing I am doing. This is why you couldn't fit into the timelines of your peers. You were meant to set the timeline, not follow it. The charcoal turning point is the moment you stop apologizing for your journey. Stop telling people you're getting there. Stop explaining why you haven't made it yet. When you speak from the charcoal, you speak with the authority of the fire. Hear this: your silence is your strength. Your invisibility is your advantage. While they are showing everything, they are retaining nothing. Because you have been hidden, you have retained the oil of the secret place. Tonight, that oil is being activated. The chosen one status is not a badge of ease. It is a burden of excellence, and you have been prepared to carry it. The racing thoughts are trying to tell you that this message is just toxic positivity. They are trying to pull you back into the comfort of your charcoal cynicism. But God says, look at your hands. Do you feel the warmth returning? That is not positivity. That is my power. That is the physical confirmation that the numbness of the delay is breaking. The mechanism of this night is the thaw. Everything that has been frozen in your life, your finances, Your creativity, your joy, is beginning to melt under the heat of the red threshold. Before the morning, the water will begin to flow. You've felt the isolation of being the only one who gets it. You've tried to explain your vision to people who only see your current charcoal reality. You've tried to justify your weight to people who only value the now. God says, stop throwing your pearls before the clock watchers. They cannot see the eternal because they are blinded by the temporal. You are a time-delayed vessel because you are carrying something that belongs to the ages, not just the trends. The urgency of this tonight's window is to separate your ears from the voices of the trend followers. Hear this. This is your instruction for the mid-arc. Do not look for the exit. Look for the presence. The charcoal night is not something to be escaped. It is something to be experienced. It is where the deep calls unto deep. It is where the identity of the chosen one is forged in the absence of external validation. If you can be my child in the charcoal, you can be my champion in the signal yellow. But if you require the light to believe you are not yet ready for the weight of the glory, tonight believe in the dark, trust in the silence. Re-anchor yourself in the timing of the Creator. The visual of the warning red is a reminder that the window of your anonymity is closing. Soon everyone will know. Soon the delay will be the headline of your testimony. Soon people will study your waiting as a masterclass in faith. But for now, it is just you and me in the charcoal blackness. It is just the racing heart and the divine scribe. You're wondering how this is so specific, because I am the one who tuned the instrument of your life. I know which strings are out of tune from the years of waiting. I am tightening them tonight. It may hurt, it may feel like more pressure, but it is the only way to make the music. God says the chosen one is the one who stays on the wheel until the clay is set. You have been on the potter's wheel for a long time. You have felt the spinning, the molding, the cutting away of your excess. You felt the wet charcoal clay of your life being shaped by hands you couldn't see. Tonight the wheel is slowing down. The shaping is done. Now comes the fire. The red threshold is the kiln. It is the place where the shape becomes permanent. It is where the vessel becomes capable of holding the new wine. Do not fear the heat. The heat is my love. The urgency of this before sleep window is to ensure that your rest is not interrupted by the ghosts of your past failures. Those failures were actually fallow seasons periods where the land had to rest so the next harvest could be tenfold. You are not a failed farmer. You are a wise one. You let the land rest when everyone else was over-farming their souls. Now your soil is rich. Theirs is depleted. Hear this: when you plant in this new season, your seeds will grow at a rate that defies biology. This is the compensation for the delay. You have felt the tight jaw and the heavy stomach because you have been trying to stomach the lies of the enemy for too long. Tonight, I am giving you a divine emetic. I am causing you to vomit out the expectations of your parents, the comparisons of your peers, and the limitations of your culture. The charcoal blackness is the space where you are emptied. The signal yellow is the space where you are filled, but you cannot be filled until you are empty. Accept the emptiness tonight. It is the prerequisite for the overflow. The time-delayed vessel is a vessel of mystery. People look at you, and they can't quite figure you out. You have the scars of a veteran, but the eyes of a child. You have the wisdom of the old, but the energy of the new. This is because I have blended the seasons in your soul. You are a seasonless one. You are not bound by the cycles of the earth. You are bound by the cycles of the throne. God says tonight, I am releasing you from the earthbound calendar. You are now operating on kingdom time, The charcoal black turning point is fading into a deeper hue as we move through this script. The pressure is shifting. The urgency is becoming a steady pulse rather than a frantic racing. Can you feel it? The somatic signals are changing. Your chest is opening. Your hands are warming. This is the evidence stack of my presence. You're wondering how this is so specific because I am whispering these words into the very corridors of your mind that you thought were locked. I have the keys. I have the light. I have the timing. Hear this. The first 3 days of this coming week are critical. You will be tempted to return to your old waiting habits. You will be tempted to check the screens to see who is ahead of you. Do not do it. Stay in the charcoal sanctuary. Stay in the red threshold. The signal is coming, but it requires a focused eye. If you are looking at them, you will miss me. God says I am your target. I am your prize. I am your timing. The visual palette is now shifting. The charcoal is still there, but it is being shot through with veins of warning red. The pressure is mounting. The transition is reaching its peak. You are mid-arc, suspended between the no longer and the not yet. This is the most sacred place in the universe. It is the place of pure faith. It is where the chosen one truly becomes the one. Do not blink. Do not turn away. The next movement of the sovereign scribe is about to begin. God says you have been a spectator of your own life for too long, watching the years pass like cars on a highway. Tonight, I am putting you in the driver's seat. But first, you must learn to drive in the dark. You must learn to follow the signal yellow even when the charcoal black is all you can see. This is the lesson of the time-delayed vessel. You don't need a sun to find your way when you have the star of morning inside you. The urgency of this hour is the final preparation for the launch. The racing thoughts have slowed to a rhythmic hum. The heavy air has become a supportive embrace. You are ready for the next phase of the arc. But the current pass must end here in the heart of the pressure in the center of the charcoal. You are not finished. The story is not done. The script is still being written. Stay in the window. Stay in the urgency. Stay in the peace. Hear this, the best is not just coming. The best is being formed in the very room where you are sitting. Stop and wait for the signal. The arc continues, but your heart must be still to receive it. The charcoal blackness that has enveloped your room tonight is finally beginning to yield to a soft, persistent glow of signal yellow, the color of divine confirmation and safe direction. You have survived the pressure of the hidden years and the heat of the red threshold, and now before you sleep, the air is clearing to reveal the path that was always meant for you. You're wondering how this is so specific because for the first time in 1,000 nights, the racing thoughts have gone silent, replaced by a steady rhythmic peace that vibrates in your very bones. Hear this, God says. The time-delayed vessel is being commissioned tonight to lead where others have only followed. You are no longer watching the world through a glass screen. You are about to step into the center of the frame. This timing is absolute, and it is urgent that you receive this before the first light of tomorrow touches your face. You have spent your energy mourning the time you think you lost, but I am the God who restores the years, and I am telling you that nothing has been wasted. The signal yellow is your map, and it is being unfurled in the quiet of this midnight hour. The tightness in your chest has evaporated, and in its place is an expansive sense of rightness that you haven't felt since you were a child. This is the evidence of your realignment. God says, I have synchronized your heart with the frequency of my favor, and the delay has officially expired. Tonight, as you lie in the stillness, I want you to visualize a heavy, rusted gate in front of you. The gate of your past regrets, and see it dissolving into yellow light. You are no longer a prisoner of what should have been. You are a pioneer of what is. The signal yellow is flashing in the small details of your life. The sudden clarity on a project, the unexpected peace in a difficult conversation, the feeling of home in your own skin. This is your confirmation that the window of confusion has closed, and the window of clarity has swung wide. Before you sleep, you must make a final exchange. You must trade the charcoal of your struggle for the gold of my presence. Hear this, there is a concrete 24-hour step that you must take tomorrow to ground this transition into your physical reality. When you wake up, before you check your phone, before you let the noise of the world back in, I want you to say out loud, I am perfectly timed. Then I want you to find one thing in your physical space that represents the old you, a scrap of paper with a forgotten goal, an old receipt, a piece of clothing that carries the weight of a sad day. And I want you to physically remove it from your home. This is your act of faith, your signal to the heavens that you have made room for the new. God says, if you honor the small direction, I will overwhelm you with the large manifestation. The urgency of this step is tied to the movement of the stars. You are moving into a 3-day window of accelerated favor, and you must enter it with clean hands and a clear house. You have felt the isolation, the sudden tears, and the tight jaw of a person who has been waiting on God. But tonight, you realize that I have been waiting on you to accept your own worth. You are not a second-rate version of someone else's success. You are the first-rate version of my highest intent. The signal yellow is the light of identity. It is the light that reveals your true face. You're wondering how this is so specific because I am looking at the very DNA of your destiny, and I see no flaws, no delays, and no mistakes. Hear this, God says, I am calling you found, I am calling you chosen, and I am calling you finished. The work of the wilderness is complete. The charcoal night has served its purpose. You have been tempered in the fire, and now you are ready to shine. This is the identity seal. Before you drift into the sleep of the redeemed, we must lock this in. I want you to perform a final 3-step thread in the sanctuary of this message. First, comment the word signal to indicate you see the light. Second, reply to your own comment with the word aligned. Third, find one person who commented on this video and reply with, your time has come. This is not for me, it is for you. It is the physical seal of your spiritual transition. It is the moment you stop being a passenger and start being a part of the movement. Do this tonight before the clock turns to ensure that the time-delayed label is stripped from your name forever. You are moving into a season of safe urgency where you will move fast, but you will not be frantic. You will be busy, but you will not be burdened. The visual palette of your life is now bathed in the yellow of the sun. The charcoal black has become the rich soil beneath your feet, providing the nutrients for your growth. The warning red has become the passion in your heart, driving you toward your purpose. The transition is clean. The direction is clear. God says the chosen one does not look back at the dark. The chosen one looks forward to the dawn. You have been a vessel of honor in the hidden place, and now you will be a vessel of glory in the public place. The 24-hour step tomorrow is your bridge. Cross it with confidence. The racing thoughts are gone, replaced by a single powerful command, Gu. Hear this, I am the God of the breakthrough, and I have broken the chains of your comparison. You will no longer look at the progress of others with a heavy stomach, because you will be too busy managing the abundance of your own life. The quiet panic has been replaced by a quiet power. You're wondering how this is so specific because I have entered the secret chamber of your heart where you kept your deepest fears, and I have filled it with my light. Tonight, the charcoal turning point is a distant memory. You're standing in the center of the signal yellow. Before you sleep, feel the warmth of my favor covering you like a garment. You are safe. You are loved. You are right on time. The urgency of this message is now settling into a deep, calm assurance. You don't need to hurry because you are already there. You don't need to worry because I am already there. The signal yellow is the light of my presence that goes before you. God says I am your vanguard, and I am your rearguard. I am the one who opens the door, and I am the one who stands watch while you sleep. The time-delayed vessel is now the time-transcendent vessel. You are no longer bound by the limitations of the Earth's calendar. You are living in the eternal now. Before the morning breaks, the atmosphere of your life will be completely transformed. Think of the clarity of a mountain peak after the fog is lifted. That is the season you are entering. You will see things that others miss. You will hear things that others ignore. You will know things that others are still trying to figure out. This is the safe urgency of the chosen one. You are being given the insider information of the kingdom. God says, I am making you a strategist for the new era. The charcoal night taught you how to listen. The signal yellow will show you where to look. Tonight is the last night you will ever feel late. From tomorrow morning, you will always be at the appointed time. The somatic signals in your body are now fully relaxed. Your jaw is loose. Your chest is open. Your hands are warm and ready to receive. This is your confirmation that the shift is complete. The chosen one is not a title you earn. It is an identity you accept. Tonight you have accepted it in the charcoal and you have carried it through the red. Now you wear it in the yellow. Hear this, the mouth of the Lord has spoken, and it shall not return void. Your life is a masterpiece of divine timing. You are the evidence that I can take a broken clock and make it the standard for the world. As you prepare to sleep, let the signal yellow be the last thing you see in your mind's eye. See it illuminating the road ahead, a road that is smooth, clear, and direct. There are no more detours. There are no more roadblocks. There are only open doors and favorable winds. God says, I am blowing upon your sails. I am accelerating your progress. I am making up for the years you thought you lost by giving you a depth of joy that those who hurried will never know. You are the late bloomer who turns out to be the most beautiful flower in the garden. You are the delayed vessel that carries the most precious cargo. You're wondering how this is so specific because I have been with you every step of the way, counting your breaths, recording your thoughts, and shielding your heart. I have watched you struggle in the charcoal, and I have cheered for you as you crossed the red threshold. Now I am standing with you in the signal yellow, and I am telling you, well done. You have kept the faith in the dark. Now you will keep the authority in the light. Hear this, the transition is over. The arc has reached its conclusion. The sovereign scribe is putting down the pen on this chapter and picking up a new one. The title of the next chapter is The Manifestation. Before you close your eyes tonight, take one deep, final breath of the charcoal-filtered air. It is the last time you will breathe the air of the delay. When you wake up, the air will be fresh, crisp, and filled with the scent of the signal yellow, the scent of new beginnings and clean directions. The 24-hour step is your first act in this new world. Do not neglect it. God says, I am watching to see how you handle your freedom. Use it to build my kingdom. Use it to bless those who are still in the charcoal. Use it to be the light that I have made you to be. The urgency has faded into a profound stillness. The window is closing, but you are safely inside the sanctuary. The chosen one is at rest. The time-delayed vessel is full. The sovereign scribe is satisfied. Tonight the silence is not a void. It is a seal. You are sealed for the day of redemption. You are sealed for the season of success. You are sealed for the glory of the Father. Hear this, it is finished. The work is done. Your life is in my hands. My hands are the safest place in the universe. Sleep now for tomorrow. You wake up to the first day of the rest of your eternal life. The signal yellow is fading into the peaceful glow of a job well done. The charcoal has served its purpose. The red has done its work. The yellow is your new reality. God says, I love you with an everlasting love, and I have chosen you for such a time as this. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where I want you to be. And where I want you to be is at the head, not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are the chosen one, and your time is now. Before the week starts, the world will see the first fruits of this night's labor. They will see the change in your countenance. They will hear the change in your voice. They will sense the change in your spirit. And they will wonder how you did it. You will simply point to the charcoal scars on your hands and the signal yellow in your eyes and say, I am a time-delayed vessel, and my God has finally released the string. Hear this. This is your final decree. This is your final confirmation. This is your final identity seal. You are aligned. You are received. You are signal. The racing thoughts are dead. The tight jaw is healed. The heavy stomach is light. The charcoal turning point is a monument of the past. The red threshold is a victory of the spirit. The signal yellow is the path of the future. You're wondering how this is so specific because I am the one who speaks and the one who performs. I am the Lord your God. Go to sleep in my peace. Wake up in my power. The transition is complete. The ark is closed. The chosen one is home. God says it is good. It is very good. Sleep now, my child. The morning belongs to you.